Habit stacking, an easy way to create good eating habits. In this video, learn how to create new habits that will help with your overall health and eating habits. Habit stacking is the process of chaining together many little habits that eventually become a routine, whereby replacing the old bad habits. In this case, we are talking about eating habits. Imagine having good eating habits. Imagine how good that would feel. If this is something that interests you, then stay tuned. First things first. It is important that we share the following disclaimer. Disclaimer. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, FDA. The products mentioned on this site are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Note that the contents here are not presented by a medical practitioner, and that any and all health care planning should be made under the guidance of your own medical and health practitioners. The content within only presents an overview based upon research for educational and information purposes and does not replace medical advice from a practicing physician. Further, the information provided as is, and without warranties of any kind, either expressed or implied. Under no circumstances, including, but not limited to, negligence, shall the seller, distributor of this information be liable for any special or consequential damages that result from the use of, or the inability to use, the information presented here. Do not follow this advice if you are pregnant or nursing. Would you like to break the bad habit of eating bad foods and easily create good eating habits? Would you like to give yourself permission to eat any food you want and not feel bad about it? Let me start by telling you a silly story about writing. You are probably wondering what writing has to do with a flat belly? This will make sense in a moment. I have always enjoyed writing. There is something about putting a pen to paper that I can explain. Being left-handed, I had a difficult time in school with penmanship. My teachers were always trying to convert me to using my right hand instead of my left. I won, but those teachers in grad school insisted on me writing a certain way. And left-handed penmanship is often sloppy-looking and difficult to read. I worked hard to have at least halfway decent-looking writing. What I found myself doing is squeezing the pen or pencil so tight that it caused my hand to cram and sharp pains to go up to my arm to my elbow. My writing would start out neat, and after a short time, it would become almost unreadable. All because was painfully squeezing my pen or pencil too tight. Even now as an adult, I will notice my penmanship beginning to suffer and my hand getting cramped and painful. When I am writing, I have to continually focus on relaxing my hand and not squeezing too hard or pushing down too heavily on the paper. What I just described is the power of bad habits. Holding the pen too tight, pushing down on the paper too hard are bad habits. Even when habits are painful, they are hard to break. This is especially true of eating habits that cause you to gain weight. Breaking those bad habits is hard work. We are going to look at eating habits and ways to include healthy foods into your daily routine. Changing the way you eat can be a huge task, especially when it comes to certain foods that contain sugar, which is highly addictive. These foods can make it more of a challenge. You know that telling yourself no is one of the worst ways to stop yourself from doing something you want to stop, especially if you hooked on whatever it is you are telling yourself no to. Saying no takes raw willpower, which is something that we don't often have a lot of. The very minute willpower begins to weaken, the very things you are trying to avoid or cut out seem to win and have the upper hand. Saying no to bad habits doesn't work, and saying yes to bad habits is no solution. So what the answer? The secret is to begin and focus on a new habit and focus less on the bad habits. One way to do this is to give yourself permission to eat whatever you want, but only after you have eaten and drank everything from a special list. Begin with making a list of healthy foods. We will call this the healthy foods stack. An example of a daily stack might look something like this: coffee with grass-fed butter and coconut oil, powdered greens, green tea, plant-based protein powder, fresh smoothies low in sugar, unsalted nuts, veggies with oil and vinegar dressing, water, and any other truly healthy choice of food or drink, but limit your stack the best healthy foods. The goal is to stack low-carb, low-calorie, healthy fat, high-fiber, nutrient-dense, easy-to-digest foods. Certain foods like lean beef, oatmeal, are examples of healthy food. They are not ultra-healthy foods you want in your stack. After you have come up with your stack, you have to get through your stack before you can grant yourself permission to eat anything else. Keep in mind to make sure your stack has lots of healthy fat and protein. Coffee, tea, and vegetables are healthy and can be filling, but these foods are not good at holding hunger off for any length of time. Be careful to not starve your body. This can cause mental and physical fatigue. You need to include protein and healthy fat in your stack to keep your body and mind energized and feeling good. Instead of just going with it, when it comes to eating, you now have a planned-out daily routine that will fuel your body with super nutritious foods. And now you have an alternative to the bad habit of eating bad foods. Instead of telling yourself no and trying to resist bad foods, you can turn to your stack of good foods. Once you're through the stack of healthy foods, you can now give yourself permission to eat whatever you want. Here is the powerful part of having a healthy stack of food: 9 out of 10 times your junk food craving will disappear before you finish your stack. Your body will thank you for feeding it healthy food. Finish your stack for the day, have healthy meals, and end your day with a sense of accomplishment in knowing you were able to easily overcome the bad habit of reaching for food that is not healthy. You have to admit, that sounds much nicer than telling yourself no and fighting the temptation. If you found this helpful, then please like this video, and while you're there hit the subscribe button. Heck, since you're there, make sure you click the notification bell so you are always made aware when a new video comes out.